Hi, welcome to Awakening Soul Truth. I'm Robbie Short. I'm a yogini. This is my friend Allison. She's a medium. We're both Reiki masters and meditation teachers. And Allison heard a new word the other day and taught that word to me.
Theurgy. 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 I actually had to run upstairs and get my daughter and ask her to help me spell it because I have auditory dyslexia. And I love the definition of the word. The word means
Having a mystical experience.
the act of invoking a mystical experience, usually by contacting a deity or God energy. But it is the act or the experience of the mystical that really caught my attention with this word.
Mm-hmm. I was just telling you, there's a woman that I know very well who moved to Florida, and she messaged me this morning, and she was excited to share that in her recent meditations, Ganesh keeps showing up. And Ganesh is the remover of obstacles, or the elephant-headed deity in Hinduism. Mm-hmm. And it was really cool because I was like, he's been showing up for me lately too.
Yes, that's beautiful.
So when you have, so how would we explain a mystical experience to someone?
Well, I think the safest mystical experience we have can be in our dreams. So dreams are really powerful when they are not just the representation of everyday crap that sometimes dreams are synthesizing, but those dreams that are really about journeying and are showing you a significant part of your unconsciousness. And a lot of people will see their loved ones show up in dreams, but also you will have animals, spirit animals represent, or goddesses and gods represent. So that's a very good example of a safe way to experience it.
I think shamanic journeys is what I was thinking of just now. When you were, shamanic journey is a guided visualization or a vision quest. And you basically are guided into different kind of sceneries, and you may be picturing what the person who's guiding is asking you to see, or your consciousness may actually go somewhere else. When someone's saying, or we're in this jungle, you might actually be at the beach. It doesn't necessarily have to make sense if an animal shows up in the right environment or in their natural environment. A whale could show up in the woods. A buck could show up in the ocean. You know, it's where you go with it. But in those shamanic journeys, you can also meet not just your animal spirit guide, but you can meet your higher self. You could go back to your wounded child. You could go to a higher realm and meet a spirit guide or to an angelic being. And really, it's kind of wide open according to the individual and what type of vision you get from that experience, but we're all unique that way.
So many times this experience, has been, I'm going to use that word again, demonized or criticized as mental illness.
Or hallucination.
People are hallucinating and that it's created mental illness. Let's be really clear that mental illness has more than one dominant trait present for to be called mental illness. You would have to have more markers than just hallucinating. Typically, when a person is experiencing a metaphysical experience of the divine, you are experiencing sudden knowing, love, joy. It's not just I'm having a visual or I heard a word. Those might be the beginning of a mystical experience. And if you could just step into them, embrace them, let go of your fear. We mentioned earlier on our channel that people are starting to have spontaneous past life recalls, right? That can be a mystical experience.
Yeah, I know someone who's an unbeliever in the divine, and this person was going through a serious issue in his relationship that was gonna lead to divorce, basically. And they found themselves walking around and pacing one evening, and just mulling it over in their head. And in that moment, they saw Jesus standing in their dining room.
Yeah, wow.
And I can't remember exactly the gesture they said that he did with his hands, but I think it was like open hands. And they told me that they understood the message, that regardless of what was going to happen or how it was going to play out, that they needed to forgive. And that was the message. And
Beautiful.
I'm like, that was a mystical experience.
Yeah.
They didn't see it that way. I know.
How?
I know.
I mean,
but that's totally a mystical experience. If you're seeing Jesus in front of you,
right?
That's theurgy.
Right. I remember when we went through our huge transition with our finances, and I was sitting at our kitchen table, and I had no idea about the Hindu goddesses and gods at all. And this blue being kept appearing to me, and I was like, okay. I was like, I don't know what you're about. And it kept happening. I would sit down at the table. I was experiencing some great stress, and boom. Oh my God, do you know what I just put together?
What?
That you were showing up to me then as soon as
I was
moved.
just thinking that. Oh my God, I was just thinking that. I was just thinking, don't tell me it was me.
As soon as I moved, you came into my life and helped me transition to running my whole business.
So I'm originally a blue being.
I'm kind of wigging out. We
I'm
just
kind
had
of
a mystical experience.
Yeah.
She is from a planet that was destroyed, and she came here with Hinduism. Literally, I think, to share it with the world. Which gets us into the entire belief that we have beings from all over the universe that came to Earth to express their free will and to create. And you, my dear, I think were showing up to me in my kitchen. That's so intense.
That's really intense.
That's wild. We just put a lot together right here in front of you.
This is why some of this is talked about beforehand and the rest of it is spontaneous.
That's funny.
I like the spontaneity personally.
So we invite you to have experiences of mystical.
You may have I can't talk. You may have experiences with departed loved ones even. I mean, they may show up not only in your dream, but they may show up in your visions. They may show up in your ear as something, you're hearing their voice. Or, a lot of people will get like random phone calls soon after a loved one's departed.
Mm-hmm.
And it's their name and number showing up on the phone.
Yeah.
And they know it's not them.
Right.
So there's all kinds of mystical experiences that can happen.
And we've talked about them the whole time.
Yeah. You look back in our catalog of videos, we've talked about this.
I really do hope you can welcome and stay with integrating past life stuff, because we are unifying as part of our rebirthing process. And when you rebirth, you have to integrate the things that are outliers or in pain, and mystical experiences will take care of that.
And since we just did a video on the Divine Feminine, and we ended with an announcement that we're going to be doing a Divine Feminine kind of pilgrimage in France next year, one of the places we're going to be going is a place where Mother Mary's energy showed up as an apparition to quite a few witnesses. Is it Lourdes?
Yeah.
Lourdes?
Well,
how do you say it?
I don't.
It's French.
Don't ask me. So the joy of allowing yourself to be in the presence of the divine, be it your loved ones, a spiritual leader, a goddess. They're all types of representations of the divine. Have a wonderful day.
Namaste.